Hello, everyone. There'll be a brief pause while we combat some technical gremlins. Yes, that should be taken care of it almost immediately, I would think. So, here we are, once again.
Hi.
Oh, hello.
Are we still doing that voice?
Are we still dolls?
No, I'm just doing the sound of a tech goblin.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I feel like, wait. Hi, I'm a tech goblin.
That does sound more techy.
That is a very good tech goblin, and I have the issue resolved. I realize it might be too much to ask, especially after all this time, that OBS, just do OBS things when I log in. That it's like when I set a thing and then I come back, that thing is still set. This time,
I'm gonna blame this on the mists.
but I'm going to blame it on the mist. Also, clearly, on a tech goblin. Okay, but hello and welcome to the Black Dice Society, Season 2, Episode 25, The Wizard King. There are 2 episodes remaining. As you all depart from the mists of Odair, Uriah, you feel Nahara's hand slip away from you as you are walking outwards. You still see Desmond, but there's no sign of her in the mist around Odair.
Nahara, everyone, Nahara's been pulled away, spirited away by the mists, or someone. I'm not sure. Can anyone see her?
Desmond, you cannot see, hear, or smell her, but you do pick up a very familiar scent. Finn is somewhere nearby. You are muted.
Odd.
I hear you now.
Okay, I was concerned because I didn't even change anything. So I just feel like the computer.
You summoned the
The
tech
tech goblins came back.
I can't smell or sense her, but I can sense Finn.
Finn? Finn, where are you?
Without Nahara to guide you all, the mists are complicated and terrifying as the gray nothingness swirls around you. You are able to ultimately zero in on your friend's location. When they find Finn, what is she doing?
She's walking in a circle, muttering about how she's going to snap Piddlewick into matches. Because she found herself alone in a cage, but like a life-size marionette, and she looked up and just kept seeing strings tugging, and they just kept messing with her. She got no peace during this time she's been away from her friends. And while she couldn't see who it was, people were heckling her as if she was doing a bad job performing. And that's where she has been stuck all this time.
Can we
see her?
Finn, over here. Are you all right?
No.
Finn, to you, I apologize for interrupting. To you, Uriah and Desmond emerge from the mist. You hear them calling your name, and then they're just there.
Where were you?
We were in an awful place. You would have absolutely hated it. I can say that with some assurance. It was a Piddlewick. You see, he sort of.
That explains it.
Oh,
That explains what?
Whatever Piddlewick did to you, he somehow did to me, except I was like a life-size marionette doll in a cage.
Oh, we were that too, except we were small. We were marionette-sized marionette dolls, and there was quite a few. Something else was using our bodies at the time, but you seem to be back in yours, and we're back in ours. And have you seen Nahara?
No.
The Sword of Kaz says out loud, where all of you hear it, I don't know what a Piddlewick is, but taking a doll's head off should be child's play. Let's go. Where is he? Let's get him. Come on.
Yes.
Child's play. That's very good, actually.
Where is Piddlewick?
As far as we can determine, he's currently reigning as the new Dark Lord of O'Dare, which is where we were. And I guess where you were as well, though separated from us, obviously. And now here we are, back in the mists.
You say that, Uriah. All of you here, off in the mists, and nowhere in particular, just a legion of voices going, whee! Just echoing in all
That
directions.
is concerning.
Oh, yes. Of course, from what we understand, these domains reflect the will of their lord, and Piddlewick wanted everything to be him. Not just everyone, everything.
So first order of business is to kill Piddlewick once we're done with our other business.
Well, I mean, he did let us go, and well, I wouldn't want to anger him, considering his current status.
Do you think I'm scared of a doll?
I doubt that you are.
I'm going to murder him for the embarrassment I suffered.
Yes, it was most unseemly, I must say. Actually, a rather horrific experience, knowing that something else was using my body to commit mayhem. This mace was apparently used to bash in some heads.
Then you immediately smelled fresh blood on the mace. In all your time with Brother Uriah, you've seen him clutch it, you've seen him wield it as if he would, but you've never actually seen him harm a living thing with it, and yet it clearly has killed someone. There's blood and hair and bits of scalp all over it.
Does anyone have a prestidigitation? No, I suppose that's Nahara's department.
Where is Nahara? Where was she last?
We don't know. She was with us when we left, and she was the one guiding us. I'm not sure how we find our way out of here without her.
When you say that, Uriah, all of you give me perception checks.
Oh, perception.
Perception, you say?
Yeah, I get advantage.
Bit of a poor roll, but still an 18.
18?
18 as well.
18? Desmond?
Pulling out my sheet, I'm going to say 4, just because that's what I got right now. So it's not going to be, whatever it is, not going to be nice.
Again, all of you have spent too much time in the mists, and it never gets any easier. Again, heading into the mists without a mist walker to guide you is dangerous at best and suicide at worst. But as the three of you sort of gather together and look around, there is no real concept of left, right, northwest, or anything of the such, but off to your collective rights, you see what looks like a lantern light glowing in the mist. It is swaying slightly, as if it would be, as if a person were holding it up.
Did the rest of you see that?
Yes.
I mean, it could be a trap. It's said that there are things that lurk in the mist to prey upon the lost and unwary, as we are, but I suppose we have no choice. If it can lead us to Nahara, we must pursue all avenues.
All right, let's follow this lantern.
Yes,
I will.
Brother Ray.
I'll raise my holy aura as well to see if it will cast any more light on the situation, make it easier for us.
As you, yes, your powers have fully returned. You might recall when you were in your doll form, you did not have access to your mystical might. And you feel it is almost as if when your light begins to glow from you, it is like the mist is trying to do everything it can to just compact it down back on you here. But you get the distinct impression that that lantern turns and moves towards you again. All of you give me one more perception check.
May I use guidance on myself for this as well?
You absolutely can.
Ah, much better. That is a 26 plus 2. 28.
18 again.
Ping?
12.
None of this makes sense, Desmond. Uriah, you are certain you're moving away from O'Dare, away from Piddlewick's domain, deeper into the mist, and you clearly make out voices. Uriah! Uriah Macabre!
Do I recognize this voice?
No.
I look at Fen and Desmond and then answer. Yes, I'm here.
Can you see our lights? Is that light you?
This light. Yes, that's me. Is that other light is you?
Yes. Come towards us.
And who is you exactly? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you exactly?
Your voice echoes out, and a moment goes by, and you don't actually get a response. You still see the lantern, and right next to you, Uriah, just outside the glow of your holy aura, you see a tall, pale man wearing a coat identical to yours and a tricorn hat. He also has a symbol of Ezra hanging from his breast. And he says, well, we're here to help you.
To help me? Do you recall my earlier request for identification? That would be a good place to start.
Oh, yes, of course. Where my manners? And he opens his coat, and you see something that you recognize immediately, Uriah, as the badge of the Kargat. King Aslan Rex, Darkon's secret police.
I see. To what do we owe this honor?
As you're talking, you see the lantern continues to approach, and there are 4 other people. They're not doing anything overtly hostile, but again, you 3 are very capable warriors and have known many, and you can tell just by the way they stand, these 4 know how to handle themselves. Weapons clearly dangle from their belts. They're clearly armored, but no one is reaching for them or anything. All 3 of you give me insight checks.
Good at that. I assume guidance. I could use guidance on this as well.
Sure. Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
Hey,
that'll be
Desmond. They can get it like anybody else. Okay. Right.
That'll be a 32 total for Uriah.
2. Finn.
I feel like he took my roll too. 16.
In your head, Finn, not out loud this time, but in your head, the Sword of Kaz says, "Oh, good. When this starts, the one to kill first is not this stringy, chatty man. It's that woman over there with the green eyes. Her death will be glorious, Finn." And like continues just sizing these people up. And honestly, the sword's kind of right. Like, it very much is pointing things out to you. Like, see him, he favors his right knee, an old injury, I suspect. And just like going down the list.
You know what? I'm going to treat it like Final Fantasy when you use the insight and you get everyone's weakness.
Yep. But it's not saying it out loud this time. Uriah.
I'm just going to make a note.
Uriah, the number one thing you get from them is wariness. But they're in the mist. They'd be fools not to be wary. But more than anything, relief. They're glad they found you.
Interesting. Knowing what I do of the membership of the Kargat, I'm going to raise my eyes of the grave. Are any of them undead?
They are not. And with that insight I will give you, you also see their... In addition to their traditional weapons, many of them are wearing clearly vampire-killing accoutrement. They have stakes on bandoliers, vials of what's probably holy water. These are all mortals.
Yes. I sort of lean towards Desmond and whisper, Desmond, the Kargat often had undead among its ranks. These are not, but they also employed a fair number of lycanthropes. Anything you can sense?
I will give you survival with advantage.
Hey, I like advantage. Work with me this time. That is 30-20.
Just humans. One of them might be a half elf. It's hard to say, but they're not. They are not lycanthropes.
There's no lycanthropes that I can see.
The tall, lean man who is standing right next to you says, perhaps I might save us some time, move this along. I believe there is a friend of yours who is in dire need of your assistance. And he holds up Nahara's Taroka.
Where is she?
And
Tell me immediately.
hello and welcome to the Black Dice Society Season 2, Episode 25, The Wizard King. As always, this is a horror game, and as such, there may be content and situations that you don't encounter in other D&D games. As always, especially after all this time, I am aware of the cast lines and veils. They have multiple ways of contacting me if something's wrong. The scene should end abruptly. It may just be that somebody was uncomfortable, and that is that. As always, thank you to our sponsors, Die Hard Dice, Idle Champions, Secret Lab Chairs, TeePublic. Our TeePublic store is up. We have just posted a new episode to our Patreon where Nahara was spending some time one-on-one with Azalin Rex and saw the true scope of exactly who he is and where he comes from. So you can check that out now on patreon.com/The Black Dice Society. Before we get on with this, let's meet who these beautiful people are here, starting with the grayscale Nahara.
Hello, everyone. I'm Nora Ibrahim. You can find me everywhere at Norological. And tonight I play Nahara, currently lost within the mists. She is a reborn fallen Azamar undead bodlock. Also, a little salty about now knowing that she does not have her Taroka deck on her. So we shall see what happens.
Brother Uriah.
Hello, I'm Mark Meir. I use he, him pronouns, as does my character, Brother Uriah Macabre, cleric of the grave and worshipper of Ezra, Lady of the Mists, recently revealed to be the Raven Queen.
And Finn, returning champion.
Hey, I'm Cypher. Fen, your draw dump here, blood hunter with a bit of warlock in her. Pronouns are she, her for both Fen and myself. And I've now come back real salty and real angry, and I might start listening to the Sword of Chaos. Who knows?
Good. You should. Nothing bad has ever come from listening to me. Desmond.
Oh, hi. I'm DJ Knight. I play Desmond, a human ranger lycanthrope. Our pronouns are he, him. You're awesome. Thanks for hanging out with us. And I'm very curious to see where they got this deck from and how many people Nahara has wrecked in the meantime.
And last, but certainly not least, our returning champion and very special guest, the always svelte and objectively beautiful Rudolph Van Richten. You are muted, sir.
Currently muted. I'm Todd Stashwick. My pronouns are he, him, as are Rudolph's. He is the cursed monster hunter of many domains. And I'm just thrilled to be back and honored to be asked to help close out this story in any way I can. You have my sword.
Excellent. And with all of this firmly in mind, let us proceed with our penultimate episode, which I'm sure is going to be silky smooth and uneventful. Presumably, you all follow these people through the mists.
Yes, if they know where Nahara is, then yes, but I'll remain wary and I'll keep up my aura.
Again, Uriah, still tacking on to that high insight. What you continue to detect from them is wariness, but relief. They're truly happy they found you. As they continue navigating back through. After a few moments, the mists part, and you find yourself facing something that you know quite well, Uriah. The Black Tower of the Kargat. The huge, imposing, physical manifestation of Aslan Rex's iron grip on the people, who he ruled not just through his own power, but through his unseen agents, and the fact that the average person in Darkon was well aware of the fact that anyone could be an agent of the secret police. And as Uriah pointed out to you, he employed a number of vampires and lycanthropes and other monsters that were very capable of spiriting away people in the night. So it was very common not to speak above the most hushed of tones against King Aslan Rex. However, in Desmond and Finn, you actually have seen it before as well in some of your past visits to Darkon, but one thing is very clear this time. Something is wrong here. In the sky, you can see what looks almost like cracks forming, where the sky is just giving way to nothingness. And Uriah, you are aware that the mists are much, much, much closer to the Black Tower than they used to be as you all emerge.
The Black Tower, then we're in the city of Karg. It still stands, it seems, though I don't know for how much longer.
The tall, lean man looks at you and says, yes, but the restoration of Darkon is soon at hand. Come,
Before we go any further, I have a few questions I must ask you.
You would be a fool not to.
I recognize the badge of the Kargat, but do you still serve Aslan Rex or Darkon's new master? It's Temporal Lord.
They look at each other for a moment and they say, we of course serve Darkon, but you will meet our master soon enough. But to be clear, you all are here as friends. This isn't even an interview, much less an interrogation. You'll be permitted your weapons and you'll be free to go.
Well do I know the ways of deception of the Kargat. The man who raised me was one of your number, though I certainly didn't know it at the time.
Well, unfortunately, if you ever found out, he must not have been too terribly adept at his job. But, however, I assure you, and he tosses you Nahara's Taroka deck. He just flips it to you. You are here as friends.
Where did you get this?
From a black-winged woman.
Where did you see her last?
He just motions towards the tower.
She's in there?
She is.
Very well. If you've harmed her in any way...
It's no, please, Uriah, don't say things that you might be held accountable for. As I said, friends.
Very well. Desmond, Finn, be on your guard.
He is quite right, and he does turn and he starts walking towards the building. He says, very few have entered this place of their own free will, and even fewer have departed by it, but these are unusual times, are they not? And you noticed the other three of them do sort of just kind of fan out around you all, but again, are not acting overtly hostile. Their swords aren't on their hands aren't on their weapons or any such thing. They're just, their heads are kind of on a swivel. But besides that, they are calm but wary. Presumably,
Very well.
you will...
Take...
sorry, go ahead.
Take me to her, then.
As they walk inside, Uriah, the first thing that you are struck by, you've seen this place before. I have no conscious memory of it. Was it a dream? Something else? Did your father bring you here? What does it look like once you enter into the Black Tower? Not to the prison area, just across the threshold.
Stark. Utilitarian. It's clear this is a place of order and efficiency, just as Aslan Rex would wish it. Cruelty is doled out, but not in a haphazard manner. No. All the pain, the interrogation, the torture, it's all very systematic. Files are kept meticulously. In fact, the rooms here, some of them are nothing but accounts of those who fell afoul of Darkon's laws, those who spread sedition, those who dreamt of freedom.
As you all make your way through this place, you are aware of the presence of other people. Occasionally you can sort of see them out of the corner of your eyes, but you're just, you know there's people here that you can't see, be it they're hidden or some other means. You all make your way across, and you come to a very large metal door that clearly has a slide lock that has been put in place. And he turns and looks at you and says, I assure you no harm has come to her. We just had to maintain security. Nahara, meanwhile, inside this room, you woke up here, was it hours ago? Was it minutes? Difficult to place. The room is well appointed, comfortable. There are soft couches, books on a variety of topics, even food and water laid out. But there are no windows and only one door that has not opened until now. As it swings open, and you see Uriah, Finn, Desmond, and these four strangers.
Laura!
Uriah!
Are you all right?
Please step inside, everyone.
And you see that Nahar has been awake for a short amount of time, but in that short amount of time, there are Eldritch blast marks on the wall, certain things singed from her trying to escape, not knowing where she is.
All of your possessions, but the Taroka deck, are intact, Nahara. As far as you can tell, you're otherwise unharmed.
Well, I didn't know how I got here. How did you get here? How did you find me? Where's my deck?
I have it here. These people brought us.
Do you all enter the room?
Are they
No.
staying outside of the room?
The tall, thin man goes in, and another one goes in, and the other two stay outside, including the woman that, Finn, you were told, if this goes down, take her out first. She stays outside.
Uriah will shoot a glance over to Fenn and Desmond and just say, I'll go in.
And I take up a parade rest and just stare down the other two that are staying outside the cell.
The
Desmond does the same.
thin man looks and he goes, dividing the party. Fascinating stratagem. And he does walk in, and Uriah is so, to be clear, Finn and Desmond are staying outside. Uriah's going in with Nahara.
Mm-hmm.
The door.
And he'll sort of lean in next to the tall guy and just say, I can't help but notice that your party is also divided.
Uriah, that's where you are in error. The Kargat is never divided.
Spare me the propaganda, sir.
And the door slams, and you hear a woman's voice say, propaganda. Oh, brother Uriah Macabre, propaganda. What our great king have thought if he'd heard such words from what was once such a dedicated servant? Truly, surely, you must have the utmost good of Darkhan at the forefront of your mind at all times, perhaps second only to the ultimate good of your lovely companion. As he's talking, you don't see anybody.
What is this? Uriah, where are we?
We're in the Black Tower. This is the headquarters of Aslan's secret police, the Kargat. Or at least they were. He's relinquished his hold on Darkon. I wonder who you serve now, perhaps yourselves.
Oh, apologies. I didn't have time to make myself more presentable, and you see at the other side of the room a woman appears, who you have seen before, Uriah, in one of your visions. She is ashen pale, very clearly dead. Long vampire fangs poke out of her mouth that she's made no effort to hide. She is wearing a white collared shirt that is clearly splattered in blood, a long coat, and is holding a very long sword that is also dripping in fresh blood. She goes, I had to just, excuse me, this not. Wait's not, want not,
Yes, very theatrical, I'm sure.
Who are you?
I believe we have the honor of addressing Baron Mateus, yes?
My reputation precedes me. Excellent. I have done something for you, Uriah. This beautiful lost bird here plummeted from the skies right here into Darkon. Can you imagine what fate might have befallen her had she fallen into rougher hands?
I find it hard to believe that I just happened to fall here, of all places.
And yet, here you are, an honored guest. An honored guest. Apologies for the door. We couldn't just have you wandering about, at least not until we'd secured your companion.
So you locked me in a room for my safety?
I locked you in a room for everyone's.
That's correct.
Well then, I suppose you should tell us what it is you want, Baron.
Straight to the point. I expected more theatricality, holy man. No sermons, no pamphlets, no treatises on the virtues of, who is it that he worships? And the tall, lean man says, Ezra, Lady of the Mist. And she goes, that. Nothing? Just right to business.
I would not wish to bore you with sermons, Baron. I already know this, but I'm going to raise my eyes at the grave.
She's catastrophically undead. She is a very powerful vampire. You've met Strahd von Zarovich. You've met about as strong as a vampire gets. She's not on his level, but she's significant.
I should mention, I do have my holy aura up, so that should probably be keeping her at bay.
Yeah, she's out of arm's reach. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She just says, well, my offer is simple. I need you to do something for me. Find someone, bring him here, and I will let you live. As a show of good faith, I'll let you leave with Nahara now, because if you attempt to run, we'll find you. So?
I do not doubt your word, Baron. Though you must be aware that we are quite formidable in our own respect.
Yes.
You imprisoned the woman who ended the reign of Strahd von Zarovich.
And I bring out my sword, my son's sword, just to let her know.
Do you turn it on?
Oh, yes.
When you just pull out the hilt, she's just like, I don't know, and you turn it on, she's turn it off now. And you see, says turn it off now. The tall man does push his coat to the side. You can't see what he's going to reach for, but he's clearly about to reach for something.
Now, there's no need to come to blows quite yet, but just know that we are bargaining from a position of relative strength as well. Now then. Yeah, Nahara?
Now, ask nicely.
Is it all right if I ask nicely?
Uriah, give me insight with advantage.
With advantage. It's either a 29. I'm going to take that 29.
Desmond and Finn, both of you give me perception checks.
That's a 17.
17?
That would be a dirty 20.
You are aware that what little light was coming into this place has gone out. The windows have slowly shut. The doors have slowly shut. And those other two also notice and look at each other and look at the two of you. And they just say, don't do anything too hasty. But it sounds like it's not going well in there.
That's usually my line.
For what it's worth, my orders were you are honored guests, not to be harmed in any way. But if my orders change, it'll be just business.
Business.
And you see the two of them very clearly, like, kind of start stretching a little bit. Just like...
Desmond just kind of flexes on his own and just kind of just gives him a little bit of the shoulder move and just like...
Fran is just sitting there. She just taps the hilt of the sword of Cass, listening for any directions, any notes he wants to give her.
The overwhelming feeling you get from the sword of Cass is like, that one dies first. Okay, great.
All right.
Uriah, with that insight, you are aware Baron Midas is about to lose it. And if she loses it, you guys will not leave this building alive.
Nahara, I think the Baron has got the point. Perhaps we could sheath our fiery blades for now.
Just so long as she knows, as I point the sword at her, that I am not a bargaining chip, nor am I a pawn in your perverted chess game. And I turn the hilt off.
From what I hear, and she motions towards a very large file on the table, multiple lifetimes says that's not the case. But however, today, the deal is simple. Do what I'm asking or die today.
Well, here's the thing. I have multiple lives. When you die permanently. So I would keep that in mind.
And yet I've already died the once.
Let's keep the channels of communication open here. Baron, who exactly is it you wish us to retrieve?
Rudolph Van Richten. He has
Why?
eluded me for some time. I would like to have a word with him, and I deeply suspect you would know how to find him.
We have not seen him in quite some time.
Yes, I know you were missing for a long time. Even I couldn't track you down, and that is significant. I don't care where you were. I care that I have you in my clutches now, which rest assured I do.
We're not
Van
even
Richten,
sure if he's alive.
he's alive. I know he's
Yes.
alive.
And
I don't need you to turn Van Richten over to the custody of the Kargat. I'm sure such a thing would interfere with your moral sensibilities. I assure you, if you tell Van Richten that Alicio Metis would like a word with him, he'll be more than happy to oblige.
and where
And I
exactly?
I
Go
kind
on.
of turn to Uriah and say, well, and whisper, well, he hunts. He hunts vampires, yes. So it's a win-win, right? I mean,
All
he
right,
would want
Baron.
Mhm.
He sort of nods at Uriah and turns. All right, Baron. Say we are to deliver this message.
Mhm.
Where are Dr. Van Richten's last known whereabouts?
You're wrong. And she like very much starts to stalk forward and stops by what you presumably feel is the reach of your aura. It's not physical as such. The light you're giving off, past a certain point, she just stops there. And she's like, if I knew where he was, I'd have found him already. We searched his estate top to bottom. Do you know what I found there? A particularly chatty ghost. His wife was some sort of physician, an alienist, some doctor of the mind. She had a number of insights into me and what I needed. She was ultimately of little help. Do you know how aggravating it is to be antagonized by a ghost?
And the spirit is still at his domicile? His old domicile in Riverless, I assume.
Yes, that is where the ghost was. He's not there. I know he's not there. I have dispatched my people all over the miss. He is always one step ahead. I'm either get there right before him or right after him. I suspect, I've been told he's been sighted multiple times in Mordant, and yet I could never find where.
Oh, what a pity.
Oh, when this is all said and done, I think you and I are going to have a wonderful balancing of the books, Nahara, but that is a pleasure for another time. That's it. Those are the terms. You can go, find Van Richten, tell him to find me.
Very well. I will not pretend that I have any intention of betraying the doctor, hero that he is.
Hero that you are.
But I will deliver your message. I wonder if you realize that I might be setting events in motion that could result in your own destruction, Baron.
If I was afraid to die, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be in charge of the Kargat. I wouldn't be in charge of Darkon.
Yes, in charge of Darkon, and I suppose in that at least, our interests may dovetail. You're no doubt aware of what's happening to this land.
Uriah, and this time she comes into the aura. Uriah. You can see her very pale skin begins to redden. You know if she stays here too long, it will be damaging to her, and this must be catastrophically painful to her. She reaches out and puts a hand on your shoulder, very gently. Whatever you are, whatever you've done, wherever you've gone, you're still a son of Darkon. You want our land to prosper as much as I do. You see small blisters are forming on her hand, but she doesn't move it. She just keeps looking you in the eye, wild-eyed with her red eyes.
I want the people of Darkon to be safe. And for now, if I can help them in any way, I shall.
Safety requires order, holy man, which I am here to ensure. So, and when she claps her hands, the door swings open again. You're Finn and Desmond. You see the woman reaches over and she pulls it open, and you see this vampire for the first time standing next to Uriah in this very tense situation. And she goes, ooh, a dump here. That is adorable. It's like you're still baking. I love it.
I growl at her and show her my fangs.
Business before pleasure. Okay,
Ugh.
there you go. She motions towards the door. She still stands there in the holy aura, Uriah, and you see, again, like webs are starting to form over her face. Again, this must be unbearable for her to stand here, but she, besides the physical damage, she doesn't show it. She's like, I'm glad you've enjoyed the courtesy of the Black Tower. I hope for all of your sakes you never do again.
If we do find Van Richten, it won't be soon enough.
I
I
don't
don't
know
like
why
her.
you're so lippy. I could have just drained you dry while you were sleeping. But I felt you'd be more useful this way, and it turns out I was right.
I'm so going to make you eat your words.
I'm gonna eat something. Yep.
And on that note, I would very much like to get the fuck out of here.
Yes, yes. Let us get out of here. Yes.
Finn and Desmond, you all were right there. Right there.
Mhm.
And now in that room where you were in the lobby, there's 12 more people, heavily armed, heavily armored. They're just there. You didn't see them before. Now they're there. And they just sort of like step back out of the way, and you see like metal slides come up absolutely silently over the window, and the light comes back in, and the front door is just very gently, very quietly open. The tall, lean man leans into you, Uriah, and he says, "See? Never divided. Good luck, brother. May Ezra watch over you."
And what was your name, sir?
O'Neill.
O'Neill. Change will eventually come to Darkon.
It is the only constant. And yet, we must fight against the darkness. We must instill order.
Order without mercy is tyranny. But I suppose I'm wasting my breath with you, aren't I, O'Neill?
I felt it was more for your comfort than mine. But I do think you should depart before the Baron has one of her episodes.
Very well. Right. That's a bit of a journey to Riverless, if that's where we wish to start. I mean, that's the only clue we have.
Why would he be in Riverless? Get out! Get out!
Oh, I want to use this sort of cast so badly.
You see, O'Neill does sort of look at you all, and he goes, probably should hurry.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, O'Neill. Thank you. All right.
We have much to discuss.
The moment you all depart the Black Tower, you hear, "Ah!" and those doors just kind of very quietly closing.
As soon as they're closed, Uriah just goes, "What a ghastly woman."
I don't like her. I'm going to enjoy coming back and killing her.
It's not a coincidence to me that I've gone from being with Aslan Rex to being dropped right here.
Being with Aslan Rex.
Wait.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Being with Aslan Rex?
And when did that happen?
Well, that happened. We were in the mists,
Yes, leaving O'Dare.
and then I felt your hand leave mine,
I felt that too.
and then I don't know how long I was gone for, but and Nahar's kind of looking around like, can I do a check to see if like we're in a safe zone of safety for this conversation?
I'm not even going to make you roll it. There are no zones of safety in Darkon. You guys got to get out of here.
Fair enough.
We're doing a walk and talk. We're doing a walk and talk. West Wing style.
Yeah, until you enter the mists, you have no reasonable expectation of privacy anywhere in this place.
Well, it doesn't matter at this point anyway. I found myself whisked away to this. It seemed like an old shop with wedding dresses. That's not important, but I found him there.
Aslan, you mean?
Yes.
I see. And what did he want?
Well, there was one thing specifically he wanted of me, but it gets a little complicated. He knows about that sword, Fen. And he wants me to take it for him, but how is it that as soon as I touch that sword, it's going to kill me? I don't know how he expects that I would be capable of doing such a thing, nor do I want to. But he has some design in mind that he's going to raise some army of warlocks in which he wants me to be in charge of.
Yes, yes, and he'd been seeking the sword. It's from his world, from what I understand.
And he somehow has it in his mind that he is going to rule over all lands with this and escape his imprisonment, as he calls it. But the only reason why I even, it's not that I have agreed to anything that he's ever asked of me in this sense, but when it's safer to keep, as they say, keep your friends close and your enemies close. So I feel like if at least at this point, I know what he plans on doing as far as he lets me know, if that's even arrogant of me to say.
Nahara, it's all right. He's utterly terrifying, and who knows what he would have done if you just flatly refused to carry out his will. At least you've told us.
But there's a little more to it. As we were there, do you remember those dark powers, that void that we saw that was chasing, it seemed to be chasing him, and that's where we found in the last place that we escaped from.
Yes, his jailers, he called them, the so-called dark powers.
Yes. They had somehow found out where we were. But as I was in that shop, from a wardrobe came the voice of Granny, and she followed us there because, remember we were in those meat suits and there was a caravan that was destroyed. It was hers. And so she followed us. She followed me, thinking that I had done something to her. But in exchange for Granny helping Aslan escape those dark powers, he showed us something. And I've never seen or never known any such cruelty as his, Uriah.
What was it he showed you?
It was before he became a lich, when he was still Ferran Zalhonen, which I still don't understand how we are able to talk to that Ferran and it's not that his Ferran.
As I understand it, Ferran Zalhonen is who Aslan was when he was a mortal man, and his use of the apparatus on Griffin Hill all those years ago cleaved his human self from him, split him.
I watched as he slayed his own son in cold blood for power and nothing else. He will stop at nothing, Uriah.
I know that all too well. I've had him inside my skull on occasion.
And I don't know. I don't know if the things that he has promised, if he will keep his word, because if he's capable of murdering his own son, how will he?
If I know one thing is that he is bound by his word. He's a creature of order, of law. But he demands complete obedience.
But what happens if he takes this too far and if I can't go on with what he's doing? Everything I have done, everything has been for you and to keep you safe and to keep you in my life. And
Nahara, my safety is not worth you becoming his thrall, carrying out his orders, no matter how depraved or evil. I wouldn't want that.
I just can't imagine a life without you.
Nor are you. But in the meantime, we have another Lord of Darkon to contend with, though from what we've discovered, she does not control this land as Aslan once did. At best, she's the Lord in name only.
If it is true that she's seeking Van Richten and he slays vampires, then I should like to find him very soon.
Yes.
Because I can't see any good that comes out of someone like that.
Darkon cannot be allowed to remain in her clutches, it's true.
No.
Van Richten's our best bet, I think. Give her what she wants, and hopefully she'll find that's more than she bargained for.
Nahara, you already had a mist token for Mordant from where you went there oh so long ago, looking for Voronika. When you entered the mist, very quickly, you all navigate back to that same place. Mercifully, it's daytime, where Mordant has some semblance of quaint alpine village, wood buildings, cobblestone streets. It does not look like it's changed in what must have been the decades since you all were here, except everything somehow is still a little dimmer and a little more worn. And you all very quickly make your way to an herbalist shop, which shockingly has an open sign in front of it.
Oh. I wonder how the passage of time has treated Laurie and Jennifer,
I
with the
don't
May
know.
Foxgroves.
But the shop's still here.
Yes. Yes, and we know Van Richten is still with us. He was fairly aged when we last saw him. Well, I suppose there's nothing else for it.
Ready?
Push open the door, I assume there's the bling-a-ling.
Van Richten, when they enter your small apothecary shop, what does it look like in there?
It's crowded with things, and you also immediately when you walk in, you do feel sort of a buffer. There's a moment that you feel a buffer that you were allowed to pass through. A sense that it may keep out unwanteds, and so you all were easily able to pass through, as if he gave the bouncer your IDs. So you all walk through without any incident, and then and stacked books and herbs and candles, and you hear what sounds like panting coming from the back room, and then you just hear my voice going, sit, good, sit, up, good.
Hello? Dr. Van Richten, is that you?
Oh, one moment. You stay. Good. And around the corner, with just a wicked white beard and hair in his ears, but the eyes have not aged. The body is still just cabled and fit, but you just see the years expressing itself in his beard, and he looks up, and in his hand it looks like he's holding chunks of meat, and he's a little disheveled. He leans forward. You're liar. Oh, wow. Oh, good to see you.
Oh,
And you. Welcome,
Sir.
welcome.
Sir, I'm so very happy to see that you're alive and well.
Why would I not be alive and or well?
Well, it's been some time. Not for us, but we understand for everyone else it's been...
Has it?
Yes.
Time, it's a funny Mobius strip eye, and you can kind of tell that it's as if he saw you yesterday. He just is unfazed at this reunion. I suppose it has been a good deal of time. You're well? Yes? Sit! And come. And then hopping up on the desk is, and he tosses a little chunk of meat is actually a quasit who sits there very trained. This Lopa, and he introduces you to his quasit, Lopa. I couldn't bring myself, because Lopa had just very sweet eyes. I couldn't bring myself to slay, and it gets very quiet in the shop, and I would rather not be speaking to myself. So, Lopa, Uriah, Nahara, Finn, and Damon, this is Lopa.
Oh,
I'm so glad you found companionship.
little fiend. Hello.
Not an easy thing to train, but he certainly likes these gizzards. Here, Lopa. Sit it.
You
Yes,
see,
good.
every time he says sit, you see, so a quasit, it is, it's about 12 inches tall. It's a little green demon with legs almost like a cricket and very sharp claws and very pointed teeth and big red eyes.
Yeah.
And you see every time he's telling it to sit, it clearly rolls its eyes like it's insulted and then just sort of plops down like a irritated teenager, just like, oh. And then
Loves the gizzards, yes.
Yes.
you see Van Richten is doing all of this. Behind him, all four of you see a familiar sight. A ghost of a teenage boy. It looks like Van Richten, if he were 17 years old, shimmers into view and looks at all of you and just says, and like holds his hands in the air, and you see a rainbow appears when he wipes his hands. It just says,
Well, speak with the dead is only 24 hours, so rats.
What brings you?
Actually, two
John.
things.
Yes.
Well, out of character, I can do that now. I can speak with the dead.
Yeah, but don't they have to be dead for like 24 hours?
yeah.
Oh,
Within 24 hours? Yeah.
well,
Yep.
And
You
the
need
spell
a body.
actually needs like the body
A
with a
body
working
and
mouth.
a working jaw.
Yeah.
I tried.
Yep. Unfortunately, the sad part of Erasmus's curse, well, besides all of it, is he can't talk. So
Well,
he
And
very
knowing-
much is pantomiming these things to you. Yes, Uriah.
Knowing that if we bring it up with Van Richten, he'll forget anyway and just won't. Yeah.
Based on your previous encounters, you realize you couldn't make him see. You felt like he was aware of the fact that his son is around. You're not the first person to have told him, but there was no way for you to point him out to him. But he's right behind him, doing all of this. Yeah.
I see as your eyes are shifting, you're most undoubtedly seeing my boy.
I'm afraid so, sir. Yes.
Well, please tell him I love him.
Oh, he knows.
He knows. Yes. What brings you here?
Although
Two
you all
things actually.
very clearly see Erasmus put his arms around his father. Van Richten, you feel absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's two things. Actually, one happy news, and the other probably less so. But first of all, he looks at Nahara and then back at Van Richten. Dr. Van Richten, we would be honored, Nahara and I, if you would be a guest at our upcoming wedding.
We're getting married.
Well, that is a cause for celebration. Lopa, bring forth the cognac. It's on the top shelf. Yes, we are going to toast your nuptials.
Ah, yes. Perhaps we should wait till I deliver the second bit of news, which
do see this again. It's kind of horrifying watching the closet move. Across the desk, it almost hops, but then it is almost like a spider in the way it slides up the shelf towards the cognac, and then like picks it up and like looks around and just hops right back down.
No, good. And I immediately go behind the counter. I just start setting up glasses. You can tell that he's been in isolation and he's lived with his torture for so long, and it is externalizing itself in just there can be no idle hands with him. He's not as composed as you last left him.
And Van Richten, as you're laying out the glasses, you of course put out one too few, and Erasmus stands next to him and like bangs on the table, and it's like, yeah, pointing for a glass for him as well. Yeah.
Oh, do we have one more glass?
Is it? Yeah, well, always.
Is it for me? Do I get a glass as well?
Oh,
You
it's
can
me.
sip from mine, Loper, but just a sip, because remember last time.
Excuse me, madam. What do you mean it can speak? Of course I can speak. I'm a closet.
Well, to be fair, we didn't hear you say anything before, so
Been speaking this entire time.
Imps and
First time I've heard
closets
you say a word.
generally are able to speak common, all the better to tempt mortals to their doom.
That's not what I'm doing here, I assure you.
If I gave you a
Pay
piece of brisket,
him
would
no
you get me out of
mind.
that?
He is domesticated.
What was that, Desmond? Sorry.
Desmond wants to ask Lopa, like, if I give you a piece of brisket, will you keep that whole like doom thing away from me?
it makes very good brisket.
You're seeing him sitting there. He almost melts to the desk and slides across on his stomach and stands up right in front of you and is like,
In exchange for brisket, I do a number of things.
Loper, mind yourself.
Sorry. Yes, Desmond.
And Desmond just like kind of
made.
Desmond just pulls out like the brisket that he's been holding, just like because he's been making brisket more regularly. It's just what he does, and he just like tosses the chunk at it.
the
How's that
closet's
taste?
got a relatively small mouth, and yet it just wolfs things down, and it waits a split second and just goes,
It's soft.
Hey, what?
You cooked
Oh, you
that.
cooked it. Yes, he does not enjoy the. Here. And I've now filled all the glasses with very fine cognac, and I hold them up. A toast, shall we, to a wondrous reunion and to a wondrous new union. Huh?
Oh, yes, very good. Yes, I suppose we should get the toast first before the bad news. But yes,
Yes.
To your health.
I say, drink them while you've got them. Yes. Clink.
Mhm.
And I sip it down to just about here, and then I hand the rest to Loper.
who just immediately, there's like to him, it's like a pitcher.
Lopa, does the meat need to be fresh or just raw?
Just raw.
Just raw. Perfect. And she takes out that piece of rancid meat
The
that
zombie,
was
the zombie thigh from oh so long ago.
from oh so long ago. She
Ooh.
rips off a chunk of it.
Nahara,
And-
you're going to spoil him.
Van Richten, this is truly rancid. It was
Yes,
the quadriceps of a zombie 50 years ago, and yet
Sure.
it still sort of like twitches because
Twitching.
it's still undead.
You're going to make him very happy.
Loper's eyes are already impossibly big in his skull, and somehow they get bigger. And
Yes.
Nahara, you hear in your head,
I will kill anyone you request. You are owed a boon.
Oh, thank
Now you
you.
see
I
why
shall
they're kept
hold you
around.
to that.
Yes.
and the hunk actually hits the ground and kind of starts to like inch slightly away, and he just pounces on it. It's awful. Even for you all and the things you've seen. It's watching a fiend eat a zombie is not. Not something you will forget.
Uriah will pound the rest of his cognac just to deal with that.
You said there was a second part to the news, yeah?
Oh, yes, this is
yes.
not.
The current ruler of Darkon, Baroness, perhaps you're familiar with her work.
Oh, two.
She seeks an audience with you. Well, she seeks to destroy you. We, of course, would not betray you, but...
My money's on you, by the way.
When you say the name Baron Metis, Erasmus walks past his father, actually walks in front of his father, which is something you've never seen him do, although Van Richten, you still cannot see him, and very much gets right in your face, Uriah, and says,
Yes, I did know that. Of course, not the same Baron Metis whose path you crossed before, but one using his title.
Are you speaking to me?
Yes, sir. She is quite clearly undead.
Oh, yes.
A vampire.
I'm familiar. Well, you can wrap all of Barovia in a list with the names of those that want me dead. So
I'm afraid that you can add the forces of Darkon and the Kargat to that list, sir, for she does seem to bear a grudge.
I must find a way to fill my days, as it were. So I will take her counsel, and she will see me forthwith. But that can't be all that brought you here.
We've delivered the message, and so any promise that I'd made to her is now discharged. I should like to say that I, at least, am at your service, sir, if you need help. But more than that, Darkon needs your help. When Aslan Rex tore himself free, he damaged something in the very fabric of the domain. It's falling apart without him. And even though the Baron has claimed his throne, she has not claimed his connection to the land. It's fragmenting.
Suffer.
Where is Aslan?
Well, Nahara actually saw him quite recently.
Yes.
Where was that? And he just starts changing. Like he just starts taking off his vestments. And when you do it, and he strips down, and he's got like old man weightlifter body, but just scar. So he's like Logan, like just everywhere.
You see, Erasmus is very much trying to like cover his small clothes, but he's a ghost. He's transparent, so he's attempting to like.
Uriah will just avert his eyes.
Nahara very politely just looks away as
I left my pants on. I just took my shirt off.
Oh, okay.
But he just took off his shirt that was stained with blood.
Uriah's scandalized just by the sight of his old man nipples.
Nahara's still very politely. Nahara's still very politely.
And it's just one of those.
Looks away.
Those again, after a certain age, there's just no shame. And so he just goes and he grabs a clean shirt and he's like, continue.
Well, I'm not sure exactly where we were. I just know that we were in the mists en route and I got whisked away to some. It's a cruel joke that it was a wedding shop and I didn't get a dress.
I suspect that venue was his choice.
Yes.
Nahara, give me a wisdom check. Not a save, a check.
Okie dokie.
You are not under attack. This is to realize. I'll give it to you with advantage, actually.
Okay. Good thing I had advantage. 17. Otherwise, it would have been a 4.
Didn't really occur to you at the time. A lot was happening, Nahara, and quite frankly, a lot has happened since. But as you kind of run the events back through in your mind, those wedding dresses were Barovian style.
Oh. That's peculiar.
Go on.
It's just that Barovia has a very specific style of wedding gowns that I don't usually see anywhere else. And that's although these dresses were old, and as was the shop, it just seemed like it had existed or had just been abandoned for decades, maybe.
And one would.
But it must have been there.
In Barovia.
You just see him kind of go into almost beautiful mind mode where you see him doing calculations in the air as he's starting to weave things together, and he's muttering to himself about that is declaring itself a leader so kind, and there's a vacancy left according to your handiwork, definitely. That it stand to reason that if there was any where that he would reside, if in Barovia, it would be in. He just stops. Castle Ravenloft.
What does it mean? Because the lacework was unmistakable.
If my hunches prove accurate, a man driven by power would want to hold dominion in the seat of power. And if what you're telling me is your dress was Barovian and he doesn't like to travel too far from where he holds dominion, my assumption is he is in Castle Ravenloft.
Of course.
Has he taken over?
Created a vacancy, clearly.
Yes, and he himself resided there for centuries. When he was working with Strahd.
Would stand to reason.
Doctor, do you mind if I ask you something?
I never mind a question. You may mind the answers.
This might seem slightly rude, but how is it that you are still alive, sir? I just factoring in the amount of time that we were in Blutzspur and, your age when last we saw you.
When I entertain the question myself, the answer stabs me deep in my heart. For when I was cursed to watch those that I love die before me. And as I kill monster after monster, thinking that I'm going to bring myself closer to my own demise, daring it, if you will, staring into the abyss itself, it seems further from my grasp. So I assume on some cosmic level, the gods somewhere, the demons elsewhere, are laughing at me, knowing that I will watch all that I love perish.
It's the dark powers, then.
Is it
the jailers.
The same dark powers that... Well, you see, I recently saw them when I saw Aslan because they were chasing him. And the reason why I was there to meet with Aslan in the first place is because, well, Fen is in possession of a sword that he's after. And he asked me to retrieve it for him.
And when Nahara brings up the sword, you realize the Sword of Chaos is not made of peep since you entered into this place, and that is not like the Sword of Chaos.
And I just reach back and touch the hilt. Do I get anything when I do that?
Feels just like cold iron.
It's this very sword that can destroy him.
Sword's not chatty anymore.
That's odd. It's
interesting.
That's
been quiet since.
I see a bit of synergy here, where there is a sword that can bring down a Dark Master, and that is all within the same confines of the Castle Ravenloft. History may be repeating itself, as it were.
Yes, just as the Sun Sword was able to destroy.
That's what I was talking about. Exactly.
Yes.
When you mention the Sun Sword, Nahara, you feel it vibrate with pride. at the mention of the fact that it struck down Strahd von Zarovich.
Yes, we are talking about you. Like bring up. I say
Again.
that to him.
Oh, it is glorious.
Isn't it? Would you like to? Have you held it before?
The sword really wants Van Richten to hold it.
It is a reunion of more than just people, and he wraps his hands around it and he says, "Hello, old friend."
And recall that the Sun Sword doesn't talk, it merely broadcasts emotions. And you just get radiant joy, Van Richten, as if an old friend were giving you the biggest hug it were capable of.
I feel that love, and my son feels a moment of joy that his father is experiencing for just microcosmic moment of joy. And he says, but it is in the hands of its rightful owner now, and he returns it to you. Oh.
Thank you. I'm glad you had a bit of a reunion.
Well, we have gone around the block a few times.
Sir,
Yes.
Dr. Van Richten,
Yes.
what then is our plan of attack? We think
I
we
say
know
we
where...
kill the bastard.
Yes. To finally end him. But if he is destroyed, what of Darkon?
One
And
thing
what
at a
of
time,
you?
boy. One thing
Yes,
at a
sir.
time. And you see on the wall behind him is the drawing.
It is yellowed with age, Uriah, but it is there, lovingly displayed.
Uriah blushes.
And you've seen this entire time, after he'd put down the sword, he just starts gearing up like he is 2 steps ahead of you all. And he has put on a thing, he smoothed back his hair, pulled back his beard, and you go, oh, that's the guy that you left 50 years ago, who's cleaned up and ready for battle.
When you point out the picture, Uriah, you see Looper looks at it and he goes, that's... And then he looks at you all done up, Van Richten, and he goes, oh, and that's you.
You've heard the stories, yes.
Well, yes, but now I'm seeing the man.
Yes,
you know?
Lopa.
I mean, let's be honest, you were rather doting before. Master, would you like me to accompany you, or should I mind the store?
As long as you don't speak to the patrons the way you just spoke, with your hands all here and you'll have to be a bit more, dare I say, inviting. The Hendershots are going to be picking this up, and he holds up like a little wrapped package at noon tomorrow, so please deliver it and try not to eat them.
I promise to endeavor to attempt. Follow-up question.
Yes.
How long should I wait before I alert the Weathermay Foxgroves that you're in peril and they should come out of retirement to assist you? It would be hilarious watching 65-year-old women make their way back to Barovia.
They have the stones of messaging. They will know if I need them.
Still formidable in their advanced stage.
Oh, it's a wonder to watch them whirl and stab.
Yes. Well, good luck, everyone. Probably don't die.
I will bring something back for you special.
Wonderful. Nahara?
Yes.
Might I trouble you for just a skosh more of that delectable thigh muscle? Quadriceps is in short supply.
Don't spoil him.
How about this? I shall leave some with Dr. Van Richten here, and upon his return, if the shop is tidy and you have been kind to customers, then I shall leave that decision to him in order to give you that piece of thigh meat back.
Nahara, somehow
Yes?
I get the feeling adding in not eating the customers might be an important thing to sprinkle in there.
Well, yes, I probably should be very
Knowing the
specific
customers.
in courtesy.
Excuse me.
It's courteous to not eat customers.
They get by fine with 3 fingers. They don't need all of those.
I assure you that they do. They might not realize it, and you might not realize it at the time, but I will assure you that all appendages are necessary.
Hmm? Fine. I will await your return.
And in front of you, Looper turns into the biggest centipede you've ever seen in your life.
It's Loper.
Loper, sorry. And bites into a hunk of chicken giblet that had spilled and crawls across the desk and up the wall and like back into the back of the apothecary shop.
Love you, miss you, bye.
Yeah. Charming.
Well.
Charming.
He came to me of his own volition. I was in the middle of a battle, and I had slain several, and we formed this bond, and it has turned into this twisted little friendship. But he's learning that he can do good, and if he can do good,
I mean, there is a school of thought that fiends are actually the essence of evil, but I'm hopeful that you will reform him, sir.
it's not so much as reform as he responds very well to positive reinforcement.
Yeah, he seems very food motivated.
Yes.
See, Erasmus looks at his father, truly seeing him as he once was for the first time in some time. And you see his spectral eyes kind of well up with tears slightly. And he just looks at all of you and he just goes,
And Nahara just puts up heart, like a heart hands.
and
Well.
you see he just fades away, vanishes.
We are off to see the wizard.
Yes.
They're not a wonderful one.
At all.
Trip, Nahara, if there is anywhere you can get to, it's Barovia.
Indeed.
And when you arrive, again, you do not emerge from the mists of Barovia. You emerge from the mists of Mordant. As you re-enter the lands, the mists are down, as a land with no Dark Lord should be. It is nighttime when you arrive. However, although it is cloudy, stars shine in the sky. It's Barovia seems to be in the state that you left it, with Castle Ravenloft still looming in the distance.
I thought I would never see this again.
It would seem that perhaps Aslan has not claimed dominion of this land, although I suppose that would run counter to his desire to escape this place entirely.
That does make sense. If he is seeking his freedom, he wouldn't want to take over another land as its Dark Lord. He would be entrapped once again.
Yes. The question is,
Seems really petty, though, that he would choose Castle Ravenloft to stay.
as I said, it was his home for many, many years.
He is given to theatricalities.
As you all travel across Barovia, Finn and Desmond, you all are aware of the fact that the woods seem healthier and returning. There's still thick clusters of pine, but they don't seem interspersed with creeping shadows. The overarching oppressive presence of wolves and bats seems massively decreased as well. And as you make your way through, you do pass the odd hamlet and village that have smoke coming out of the chimneys, lights.
And like a man in quarantine, I cannot help to keep talking. And he just keeps pointing out, took down a rock over here. Some vampire spawn, very nice. He is just sort of giving a tour of all of the things that he's slain along the way. Far more loquacious than he was 50 years ago when you had seen him last. And he's spilling it all out to Uriah, who is such a willing audience, and he's thrilled to have the ear.
Oh, yes, really? Oh, yeah, he hangs on every word.
Dr. Van Richten, why is it that you stayed for so long in your shop?
I come and I go, and people bring jobs. Those that know how to find me and need to find me, such as yourself, find me, and I come and go from there. But there are others out there, dare I say younger, who are nipping at my heels and starting to suck up all the work. But as I had stated earlier, it is a curse that I still need to fulfill.
And unfortunately, Van Richten, another thing that you know is starting is the hardest part. Often those youngest and most eager are also the least experienced. In the
I'm saving a lot of butts.
As you all approach the village of Barovia, it is well after midnight by the time you arrive, and although the town is quiet, by all indicators, it is peaceful. Last time you were here, the overwhelming majority of the buildings were boarded up and absolutely reeked of undead, Uriah. It's not like that now. It seems to be a town in recovery. You don't really see anybody out and about, but that's probably more due to the hour. But things seem to have fresh coats of paint on them, and just generally more pleasant. It has not been just a completely night and day transformation. Although years have passed, they were under the oppression of Strahd von Zarovich literally for centuries, generations. These people are basically learning how to live without him. And yet, as you approach in the shadow of Castle Ravenloft, like a knife stabbing against the sky, up in one of the highest towers, you do in fact see a light on.
There's a light over at the von Zarovich place.
Yes, so there is. I certainly feel as though I'm in some sort of time warp coming back here again.
It does feel very strange.
Yes. Frontal assault? Is that the order of the day?
Last time I was here was with a puppet. Whatever became of that puppet?
Well,
we just saw him actually. He's got his own place now.
Good to hear.
He's going to be matchsticks next time I see him.
Yeah. We all sow our own fates, do we not?
As Van Richten sort of charges forward, for the first time in some time, you do hear the Sword of Chaos speak up in your head, Ben.
They say this old man can't die. I'm sure if you were to plunge me into his back, we could test that hypothesis.
Did you say something, Finn?
No, it was the Sword of Cast. Now I decided to talk.
I mean, I think he's scared. You should do it.
Oh my God, shut up.
Oh, I've been silent. I felt like you missed me. Come, do it. Let's find out if you live. Let's test the parameters of this curse.
You would think that sword was in quarantine by how chatty he is.
Are we hearing all of this as well, or?
This time he's just in her head. He didn't say this out loud. Yep. Mm-hmm.
But just based on what Fen has said.
Oh, I yelled shut up real loud.
I mean, through the years, Van Richten, with the way he's interacted with the Veil and all creatures that, he's a bit of kind of like when you get radio in your tooth. He gets occasionally, he'll just pick up pieces of things, which adds to his batty nature a little bit now.
I will also say, if there's one thing Van Richten knows is evil,
Yeah.
that sword is evil.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I know all about that sword.
It is. Yeah. As you all approach the castle, outside there, for lack of a better word, there looks like the remnants of what would have been an ancient battle. that the people would have come to attempt to loot and plunder this place and clashed with whatever was left of Strahd von Zarovich's forces and minions. The huge double doors, one of them hangs broken off the hinges so that it can't shut completely, and on the other side is just pitch blackness. Recall also, high above these doors, which were once barricaded, there is a window that still stands broken, the window that you all originally used to gain access into Castle Ravenloft.
Uriah's.
Nahara,
Go on.
Nahara takes Uriah's hand. She holds his hand, and without saying anything, Uriah can feel sort of this chill breeze come through as Nahara casts Death Ward on Uriah.
Oh.
And with message, she just says to him, I can't lose you.
Nor are you. And Uriah casts Death Ward on Nahara.
You can't help but forget. You died in that room, Uriah. Right up there, the other side of that glass. But this time,
yes.
do you all take the front door?
Might as well.
I draw my blade. Say, time to wet it. And I yell back. I yell back to Finn. That sword of yours could meet another decrepit wrist. Shall we?
Well, if we're not being surreptitious, the holy aura that Uriah gained from the Book of Exalted Deeds flares to full brightness.
You see, this time, Uriah, it is almost like a spotlight emanating out from you, and it lightens up this hall just inside. And there is an odd mixture of simultaneously looting and reverence. Dust covers the floors and the furniture. There are signs that some things have been taken, but not many. One or two paintings of Strahd have been slashed, but if you can see they're hesitant and half-hearted, as if defiling his image might actually bring him back. It seems like for the most part, the people have just stayed away from this place for some time. And the biggest thing that you all notice, having not come through this room previously, on the far side of the room is a large, unblemished, but very dusty portrait of Tatiana, who, of course, looks just like Nahara.
Tell me again how you felled the devil. And he looks to Nahara.
We had all chased him down in the daytime where he was resting. And if it weren't for this sword, as she unshields Sun Sword, who knows where we would be today.
And you saw him dead forever, the true death.
Well, here's the thing with that.
Here's the thing.
I don't know. I was sure he was dead until I was gifted this special Taroka deck. And she holds up the Lupus deck of souls.
May I?
And I heard his voice in here speaking to me.
These past 50 years, I have heard the shadows, and I've heard the whispers, and I've heard stories, but I hold fast true that you brought him to the true death, but I don't believe it. But today we have another monster to kill.
Suppose you're right.
How does the deck feel to be back in the castle?
How does the deck feel?
Doesn't react. Well, it doesn't react more than anything else. Do you let Van Richten hold it?
I do.
Van Richten, again, you have a sense for these. You are aware that there are entities, multiple entities, 14 entities trapped inside of here. And there's an echo of Von Zarovich, but it's just that, it's an echo.
You see one tear well up in my eye as you hand me the deck.
You hear them, don't you?
I hear them all.
I was able to free one time.
There's the noble pursuit.
Does this mean that he's really gone?
I don't know, dear. I don't know.
Well, as you said, one thing at a time, right?
We have other monsters to kill.
Again, Castle Ravenloft is colossally massive. It goes about as far down into the ground as it goes up into the sky. And as you make your way in, once you get past just the first few rooms, there's no sign whatsoever of looting, battle. It's like past a certain point, people just did not come in here, or at least not on a scale that you noticed. You make your way through familiar corridors, both for you, Nahara, and for very different reasons, you as well, Van Richten, to the base of the tower where you see the light up there.
Well, I suppose this is it.
Something doesn't feel right.
No, it all feels quite wrong.
He knows we have the sword.
Learn to get used to the feeling. Cornered animals often are the most deadly.
More deadly than usual. He's pretty deadly at the best of times.
Desperation breeds strength, so be on your toes. Keep your heads on a swivel. I should have brought Lopa.
Right, heads on a swivel, also still attached to neck. That's what I'm going for.
As you all make your way up these stairs, here there is no dust. Here there is no sign of wear. The black stones are gleaming. And as you all make your way to the top and open the door into Aslan Rex's laboratory, what does it look like?
The laboratory has seen recent use. Experiments, arcane and eldritch, have been performed. Stacks of books taken from their shelves, marked recently with new blood. Someone has been studying. And you hear a voice. Ah, Dr. Van Richten and the Black Dice Society. I do bid you welcome to Castle Ravenloft.
And here, having confronted Aslan Rex for what may well be the final time, the good time for us to take a little break. I realize we're late, so we're going to try and keep this one short. We're going to aim for like 5, so don't go too far away, because a lot of things are about to happen. Don't go in.
You have a name? You have a name?
welcome back. Here in Castle Ravenloft, the scene of your greatest victory and in some ways your greatest defeat, your adversary stands before you. Aslan Rex, back in the laboratory that, as Uriah pointed out, he occupied for centuries. You all see as Aslan appears and reaches out a hand, and Uriah simply falls to the ground.
Even with
There
the
we
Death Lord?
are. Oh, he is not dead, my dear. I had thought the boy's utility to me to be at an end, but I have discovered that I have a use for him. I would not see him irreparably damaged.
What are you going to do to him?
That is my concern. Your concern is to follow my instructions. Nahara, bring me the sword.
Oh, then bring him the sword.
If I touch that sword is going to kill me because I am one of the things it is after.
Very well. Incapacitate your friends. Or need I sully my own hands with this task?
This time you all hear
Incapacitate.
the Sword of Cass out loud say,
The Lich fears me. Let me bathe in his blood, Finn. Come, please. Yes. Take his head off his shoulders. It'll be good practice for Vecna. I assure you, this one is no Vecna.
Oh, I just
Hurtful.
smile.
That is hurtful.
But it's true, though.
Not yet. I'm not.
Van Richten, as this scene is playing out before you, what, if anything, does Van Richten say or do?
Do the wounds still hurt from our last meeting? I would like to remind them.
I see they have no intention of letting you go either, Van Richten.
From
You have centuries, millennia to look forward to as their toy. I have decided to play my own game.
Well, you have but moments.
From behind you, in the stairwell that you all came up, in the doorway, you see this hulking mass of bones descends from the ceiling almost like a spider and stands up with almost impossibly long arms and long wicked claws and an eyeless skull that just sort of like rocks to the side and looks at you all.
Do you recall your old playmate? Once, he was called Llewellyn Desheen. Now, he is perhaps the most useful of my children.
Afraid to fight your own fights, I see.
Oh, I have every intention of fighting this fight, Van Richten. I wonder...
Send your pet away.
He is there to deal with nuisances. You are mine. We'll see if your curse still functions when you've been carved up into quivering chunks.
I am rubber, and you are glue.
I am familiar
And whatever you
with
say
this. Yes,
to
yes.
me bounces off of me and sticks to you.
Enough talk, Finn. Give him the sword.
And with that, roll initiative, everybody.
Woo! Yes.
For the battle against King Aslan. Why am I rolling initiative? This is all y'all.
You got so excited, you just hit initiative.
This is true. This is reflex, you know?
Question.
I'm going to put it in
Yes.
chat.
Shall I roll for our friend Llewellyn Desheen, or will you do that?
Well, I would give you the choice. Would you like to control him, or would you like me to control him?
I shall let you control him,
Well,
though Aslan shall direct his actions.
In that case, he will act after you do.
The
Ooh,
sword
very
is
nice.
eager. That was a nat 20.
Ooh, I'm not reading that. But hold on here.
The irony is, I'm using my dice that were named for Celeste. So the soul of a paladin is with us.
We need it.
Very well. I did not
Van
roll a
Richten.
natural 20, but I did get a total of 21.
I still have Van Richten and Piddlewick here in the initiative order, and Aslan as well. So shout out to the homie. So let me just go down the list here. Nahara
12.
and Van Richten
19.
and Aslan 21. I heard.
21 total, yes.
All right, Finn, that was a natural 20. I heard.
Yes, it was. That makes it a 22.
All right, and Desmond.
Take that, Aslan.
Desmond.
That is a 19.
19. Everybody was ready for this one. However, Finn, assisted supernaturally by the Sword of Chaos, is just slightly more ready for it. Finn, you do go first.
Oh, I pull out the Sword of Chaos and I'm ready to get to it. But as a bonus action, I would like to cast Mage Armor on myself.
You know what? I'm going to give you that one for
You
free.
know what?
You knew it was going down today.
All right, because I said it and then I saw his first level spell, but if you'll give it to me, I'll take it.
Well, that and it's 8 hours long. I mean, it stands to reason that one's on when you wake up in the morning.
All right. Then I'm ready to go after Aslan with the Sword of Chaos.
Would you like to dread form, perhaps, as a bonus action?
Sure. Or
Or
True Strike, which will give me the target's defenses, and I get advantage on my next turn.
ooh. Oh, I think the way that you mean the spell True Strike, right?
Yeah, it's a cantrip.
Yeah, the way that works out practically is you just get a big old bonus to attack. Let me double check. It used to be plus 20. Let me see what it is in the modern era. Which, of course, doesn't want to load.
Basically, just
It
get
will just give you
advantage.
advantage. Yep, it'll give you advantage. Right. Back in the day, it was plus 20. Now it's advantage. But yes, you have advantage. Go ahead and attempt to strike King Aslan Rex.
All right.
And did I hear you also know his
No.
vulnerabilities? Or no?
That is how the spell is worded, but practically, she just gets advantage.
Very well.
Yeah, it just says your magic grants you a brief insight into the target's defenses, basically giving me advantage.
Yeah, I'm going to flavor this, Finn, as the Sword of Kaz is saying inside your head,
Yes, he fears my bite. Look as he shifts to the left, strike towards the right.
and go ahead and roll it.
I do that and I get a 24 on the first attack, and I'm going to roll. Do I get advantage on both or just the first attack?
Just the first.
Okay, so the first attack's 24.
24, is it?
Yes.
As the sword of Cass descends towards Aslan's form, the briefest flick of a finger as it ricochets off an unseen field.
Ah! Hey, liches.
Well, then he's really going to hate liches because 23 was my other roll.
Again,
Likewise.
it should have been enough, Finn, but it just clangs off of this field of energy that you cannot see. However, that means it is your turn, Aslan. Again, arrayed before you, Nahara, Finn, Desmond, and your old friend, Rudolph Van Richt.
As he deflects the second of Finn's mighty blows with the sword of Cass, Aslan turns his head towards Van Richten. Ah, dear Rudolph, you said I had only a moment, but I think you'll find I have several. Time stop.
You roll your 1d4.
That will be, it's a +1, yes, to the die roll.
1d4 plus 1, yep.
4 actions during this
4
time stop.
rounds worth of actions. Of course, this is your home turf, Aslan. You knew that this day was coming and have a number of preparations made in advance. You could not be fighting them in more favorable circumstances than these.
Very well. First, I believe I shall disengage from Fen. I cast Fly upon myself. I move as far as I possibly can away from her. In fact, up a level in this library. Go on.
You tell me how high the ceilings are in this tower.
Oh, we are in a vaulted ceiling now. This library has many levels. Aslan flies up to a balcony 40 feet in the air and alights upon it.
That is 1. 3 more rounds.
Next, I shall cast Globe of Invulnerability upon myself.
Excellent. A mystical barrier of energy shimmers into view around you.
Thirdly, I shall cast... yes. Now, of course, I do not wish to interact with anything quite yet. Any other people?
Save that for the 4th round.
Yes. A large bookcase. I shall use telekinesis to lift it directly above Fen and the Sword of Cass. The heaviest I can manage with telekinesis.
You are one of the greatest sorcerers unliving. You can pick up a heavy one.
And then, as it hovers above her, chain lightning on the rest of them. All of them. I can target them all, I believe.
I assume your intent is to leave Uriah out of this?
Yes. He is peacefully sleeping. Let him slumber until I have need of him.
One last question. Is your intent for the bookshelf to fall on Finn before or after the lightning hit?
Essentially, it will fall as the lightning.
Everybody give me dex saves. Finn, give me 1 and tell me what the dex save is first. Because that will affect the other one.
We're all doing deck saves, right?
Everybody's going to give me a dex save, but Finn in particular, something different's going to happen because of this bookshelf business. You were muted,
Cool.
ma'am. What was that you said?
That was a whole natural 1.
Oh.
The bookshelf by itself is not particularly painful. It only lands on you for 15 points of damage.
Oh, is that all?
Yes. Unfortunately, you are pinned underneath it and automatically going to take this chain lightning as you are incapacitated underneath this bookshelf.
Very
All right.
well. For those wondering, the difficulty of the save against the chain lightning is 23.
Did anybody beat 23?
Yeah, 27.
I got a dirty 20.
Shockingly spry Van Richten leaps into action. For the rest of you, Aslan is there, and then he's 40 feet in the air. A bookshelf lands on Finn, and lightning goes off. Desmond, what was that on the deck save?
That'd be a 14.
Deal your damage, Wizard King.
Yes, there's so many dice stared up, you must understand. Very well. Those who take full damage will be taking 46 points of damage. Those who saved will take 23. This is, of course, lightning damage.
No, sir. I don't like it.
How much?
If you made the save, 23.
Yep.
23.
For you, 23.
Yep.
Anything else from Aslan Rex?
But I'm just checking. Yes, I think it only does damage. I suppose I haven't used my bonus action.
I was going to ask about that. And also the bone claw that you will order in afterwards.
Oh, yes. Yes. As a bonus action, you see Aslan remove something from his robes and hold it tight in his hand. And the bone claw. Aslan looks at it and says, "Very well. Make yourself useful. You remember your old playmate, Van Richten, do you not?"
It just looks at you, Van Richten, and opens its mouth and just says, Van Richten. Actually, yeah, it is just going to lash out at you with its impossibly long arms. Unfortunately, one of those is a natural 20. The other is a 26.
Well, so the other, I have a parry for the second attack, which adds 7 to my AC, which makes it a 29. So I'm able to deflect the second attack.
The first one, however, these impossibly long claws plunge into Van Richten's body for 40 points of damage in 22 necrotic.
Okay.
Not counting any damage mitigation Van Richten may have. You all see it yanks its arm back, and Van Richten flies over towards this thing. Give me either athletics or acrobatics. And were you going to ask a question about? The
necrotic damage. I have resistance to magic.
Hang on, let me double check your stat block here.
I believe
So it
that
is
will give you advantage.
For his stat block in particular.
Oh, I see. Yes,
you will only take 11 necrotic. So 40 piercing and 11 necrotic.
Okay.
But it does yank. Its arm extends across the room, stabs you, and then pulls you back towards it.
Okay.
Give me athletics or acrobatics.
Just a second.
It'll be just the.
Oh, that was a natural 20.
It's.
Yeah.
Actually, with the natural 20, I will say you elude even being pulled towards it. Again, this is not your first bone claw, Van Richten. You know exactly what it's about to happen.
No.
And managed to elude being yanked back towards it. And
so boom, boom. I feel the stab. It tries to pull me back. I push off the other arm that didn't hit me, and that pulls the bones out of the pierce, and as it snaps its own arm back.
You all see, even in this short exchange, there's a reason why this man is the legend that he is. All right. Excellent. Sorry, Nahara. I see your question here, and I don't understand it. So hold on. I'm going to have to check that, and I will tell you in a second.
Okay.
However, Desmond, it is your turn.
Top of the turn, Desmond is kind of upset. A better way to phrase it. So he immediately changes. And would that change with the... Well, I'll message you about it.
Too many people got too many things, but yes, my body's ready. Give it to me.
There it is, sent.
No, next time.
Cool. Gotcha. All right, so Desmond is going to is Alan Rex still in the air?
He's 40 feet in the air. You see him basically standing on a ledge up there.
Yay. Trying to figure out if I can even get anywhere up there. Rude. I don't think I can even get up there. Sadness.
What's your movement?
Regular? 30?
Uh-huh. I mean, presumably, correct me if I'm wrong, Aslan. I mean, there are ladders and whatnot. The how to normally access these things, or are they designed exclusively to fly towards? You are muted.
There are probably stairs,
Oh,
though
perfect.
they're not leading directly to the balcony.
Am I able to lift Desmond on my turn?
I mean, he's a chunk. What's your strength?
Not high.
Yeah.
How big is he in?
I will. Here's what I will say. You can give me athletics, Desmond, and you can do it with advantage, assuming Nahara is trying to give you the best boost that she can.
All right, so that is going to be a 23.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that that will get you up there, but it will take one of your actions to do so. So if you'll still be able to like swing at him once or something like that, but it'll take part of your action economy to scramble up.
Worth it. And then right after, Desmond's going to go for a bite.
Go for it.
And that's going to be a 25 to hit.
Aslan, is that enough?
The shield is still active.
The
this
shield
round.
is still active. Yep, it's that makes his AC currently 29. As you go and bite, you just see this field of force in front of you.
Cool. So Desmond just looks and just...
Ah, Desmond. Such a pity we could not come to an understanding. I bear you no ill will, but I am afraid you stand with my foes.
I'm no one's puppet. That's all that matters.
No one's. I wonder, does Harkon Lucas pull your strings?
He wishes.
Nahara, you see Desmond leap up there and bite and again crash against this field. Nahara, give me an Arcana check.
Okay. Ooh.
Van Richten, you can give me an Arcana check as well with advantage, which for you is going to be just straight intelligence.
26 for me.
Oh, 26 is plenty, actually. Nahara, it's difficult to see because it is very faint and shimmering, but you realize what Aslan has done is a globe of invulnerability. Any spell level 6 or below will not reach him at all.
I see. Well, I don't know if I'm able to relay that on until it's my turn.
Talking is a free action. Well, it's your turn now.
I do just shout that out loud. It's not going to hit him unless you've got something strong, as they say in these lands.
Powerful magic.
Barovian turn of phrase.
I have something.
But it is my turn, you said?
It is your turn, Nahara, yep.
Okay. Then I shall bonus action Form of Dread.
Oh, actually, I apologize. Van Richten is yet to act. Sorry.
My apologies. Go ahead.
Van Richten's turn.
Have something. and he takes off his glasses and he tucks them in because he's farsighted. And he cracks his knuckles and he raises a hand, and this radiant whirl comes off of his hand and goes right at Aslan, and does 31 hit.
It does.
And so it does 54 points of radiant damage. And as I take it, as I feel the pain coming from you, I extend my other hand and I point it at Finn, who is under some detritus, and Finn regains 27 points of his hit points.
You all.
So I'm literally taking it from you and I'm channeling it to Finn. I'm getting a little and I'm giving a little. Boom. And then with that, after I do that and my fingertips are smoking, I blow them off and I say, Lack Dice Society, because that is your name. Yes? Yes?
Yes.
Yes, okay, great. I say assemble. And with that, I cast leadership. And that adds, anybody who could hear me can add a D10 to any attack roll or saving throw.
Until
Amazing.
his next turn. He basically
Until my next turn.
AoE Bardic Inspiration of a D10.
Amazing.
Move.
There, you realize there is this moment where Van Richten is here glowing and glorious. It's too bad Uriah didn't get to see.
Hmm. You're
I'll
so
put on a
cool.
little show for him afterwards.
I will just make a note just for your own sake, Van Richten. You do have access to the legendary actions here.
Yeah.
As such. However, is that it for your turn right now?
Well, so with that legendary action, I want to look at the Bone Claw.
Well.
Oh, I have to do it on their turn.
After
Yeah.
someone
I thought about that after the fact.
Yep.
Thank you.
After anyone else, friend or
Love it.
foe. Yep.
Oh,
But
love it. Okay, great.
You do have access to those.
Yeah.
However, Nahara, apologies. Now it is your turn.
Before that happens, however, speaking of legendary actions,
Yeah, that's the problem. Somebody else has them too.
I should think that Aslan would like to engage in one of those. And I think yes. There is going to be, since I can only use my at-will for this, a ray of frost shall shoot out at Van Richten. One good turn deserves another, after all.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no.
Very well. This will be...
Uh-oh.
That is a 32 to hit. I assume it does.
It does hit.
Very well. Then this shall be...
As Van Richten is openly mocking Aslan, you all hear the Sword of Chaos say,
I like this old man. When I kill him, his death will be swift and glorious.
And that will be a total of 31 points of cold damage.
Well, it will be half that.
Very well. Very well.
So what, 16?
Yep, 15. Round down.
15.
15. Oh, it's so cold. It's so very cold. And you see it hit him, and it doesn't hit him as hard as you would like it to. And my resistance mocks you.
Aslan, what is this old man made out of?
My apologies for insulting you with a cantrip. Clearly, more dire measures are needed for you.
More dire measures are needed for you.
Stop mocking
You're
me.
just bringing the sass out of it.
You're just saying what I said in a funny
all my
voice.
sass.
That's not witty. That's
totally sound
that's hardly
like this.
Satire.
You
That's not the
absolutely
height
sound
of
like this.
insult humor.
This is what you sound like, Aslan.
Nahara,
You wait 6 seconds. I'll show you.
Nahara, while two of the greatest pillars of the realms are hurling jabs at each other, it is your turn.
Nahara takes this opportunity to rise up as she flies over and meets Aslan's gaze, takes on her form of dread as a bonus action and says, "You're not completely invulnerable," as the center star of her crown beams and hurls towards him, and she casts Crown of Stars.
Woo.
And it is 35 to hit.
Question. What level is this spell?
It is a 7th level spell.
Bam.
And that does hit.
Hold, please, for damage. $29 points of radiant damage.
Ah! My dear, you have proven most insolent. Clearly, I have made a rare mistake in placing my faith in you.
Did you
Perhaps
think?
discipline is called for.
Did you think you'd want me to be in charge and raise your army of warlocks, and you haven't given me enough strength and power to do so?
Strength you have in abundance. Now we shall test your fortitude.
And as he does that, Van Richten says, he looks at Damon and he says, "Oh, there's time for a little bite." And he, as a legendary action, he commands allies, which you can immediately get a melee attack on him right now.
Make your attack, Desmond.
And Desmond goes for the claws.
His shield is still up, so his AC is significant. We have not come back around to his turn.
Luckily, though, it looks like he's been damaged, which Desmond's a fan of.
Mm-hmm.
So that means I get to roll with advantage. Oh, yay. That is a 27 to hit.
Woo!
Still not enough, I'm afraid.
Currently, he's 29 while his shield
Oh,
is up.
right.
Rats.
Mm-hmm.
Is it still his turn?
It'll be for the remainder of this, when the round resets. So when Finn presumably has a chance to attack him, the shield will be down. It's up the rest of this round. Gotcha. Which actually, hang on a second, sorry.
I believe it's active until my next turn, yes?
Let's see. This is a high stakes thing, so let me double check here. You'd think as many times as I'd cast that spell, I'd know. Yeah, it's until the start of your next turn. Yep, so it's all the way back around until his turn. Yep.
One other thing. Speaking of legendary actions, when Aslan said to Nahara, "We will test your fortitude," he looks at her and fills her with terror. This will be a wisdom saving throw.
Actually,
I
hold
am
on.
immune to
Well,
being frightened.
one important thing, Desmond, you do have that bonus D10 that Van Richten had bestowed
word?
upon you, so you already at 27. You just need
That's
two
going to add
more.
another 4, so that's 31.
As a hit.
The jaws bite around the energy, and you hear Van Richten yelling again. And they come through and bite into you. Yes.
And the damage, actually, that was claws. So to be fair, that was claws.
Okay.
And then that is going to be
Bad Moon Rising.
2d6, so that is 11 damage.
Excellent.
11, very well.
And it's got to succeed on a DC strength saving throw.
DC what?
DC 17.
Nope,
Strength saving throw.
Let us see how long.
That is a success, though just barely.
Mm-hmm. You see Aslan fall like he's going to fall, like he's about to have to put his hand down to the ground, and just regains his composure and stands back up again.
Indeed.
Perfect.
And it is still
No.
vendor concern, yes? Or is it the end of his turn?
No, that was a legendary action. We're actually all the way back around to Finn.
All right, perfect. So at the end of, can we follow a legendary action with one?
You can, because it's
Perfect,
all
'cause
technically
I'm-
at the end of Nahara's turn.
Perfect, because I'm going to roll smooth for my own actual action.
Mm-hmm.
So let me roll this to
You
hit
don't
really
have
quick.
the D10 this time. You just have the one. Or, yeah,
So no D10s, but I do have the advantage.
Correct.
Work with me. Dice. Both net ones.
Whoa!
I didn't even think that was possible.
I got 2 20s last time, so of course you get 2 1s this time.
Indeed.
And unfortunately, yes.
That's what we call quasit eyes.
Aslan, you tell me what it looks like when he manages to claw you and then rears back again, but then misses wildly. What happens?
All right, perfect. So I'm going to roll smooth for my own action. So 2d6, so that is 11. 11 damage. And it is going to succeed on a DC strength saving throw.
Mm-hmm.
So that is 17 damage.
Aslan basically sidesteps. It's in that sort of martial art where you're barely moving, where it's an old man with a long mustache and a robe, just sort of stepping out of the way there and there. Focus, Desmond. You must focus.
Finn, first give me athletics or acrobatics, and remember you can use that. Well, actually, the D10 is for an attack or a save. But for this part, will still let you use it on this if you want to cash it in.
It's going to be acrobatics because athletics, because I have a much higher plus and I get an advantage, and that die is going to dice jail.
Speaking of dice jail,
that is so much better. That is a nat 20, says a 27.
Perfect. You slide out from under this bookshelf easily, but Aslan Rex is 40 feet away.
Oh, that's okay, because Eldritch Blast has a range of 300 feet.
Nahara's already told you it's not going to work because of his globe of invulnerability. She said it.
Got to be a 7th level spell.
Yep. 7th level spell or physical violence.
Then physical violence it is. Well, I can fly because I'm in dread form.
You can, and I believe you can fly. You have 40 feet, don't you?
Oh, absolutely.
Sorry, let me check something real quick here that might be relevant. This is not counting whatever resistances Aslan Rex may have, but the Sword of Cast is capable of casting 2 spells high enough to affect him.
Oh, really?
Both Divine Word and Finger of Death both would penetrate a globe of invulnerability. Again, not counting whatever other contingencies or resistances he might have, they are high enough level to beat the globe of invulnerability.
Then I'm going to let the Sword of Cast take my first action and do Finger of Death.
Perfect. Aslan Rex, this is
Aslan Rex makes no effort. I believe Finger of Death does necrotic damage. Is that correct?
Indeed,
Dag
it
nabbit.
does. As you point the sword, it just says, ah! And you all see a beam of black crackling energy hurtle out and hit Aslan square in the chest and do absolutely nothing.
Well,
Aslan does a very theatrical brushing of the front of his robe.
All right.
Just cut his head off instead.
Then that's what we're going to do. I'm just going straight for the headshot.
Right. Well, that's casting the spell was your thing, but you were going to fly up towards him?
Oh, so that counts for me, not just the sword.
Oh, yes. Yes. You can use your action to cast the spell. Yep.
Well, I guess then I'm just going to hang out, but I forgot I had mage armor. So what does that negate?
No, it just it gives you additional AC if you're not wearing any armor.
Okay. Well, then I'm just going to kind of be ready. I'm going to stay ready.
Are you going to fly towards him or are you going to stay on the ground?
I'm going to fly towards him because I don't want him to throw another bookcase at me.
After your move, I say swing wide so that on your next attack, I'm using command allies. You will get advantage on that attack, Finn.
Perfect.
Okay.
I'm rooting for your sword.
Was that a legendary action?
Oh, it was.
It was.
Yes. What a very good idea.
Because we are at the top of the second round.
It was a good idea.
They're all renewed. Yes, please proceed, Aslan.
As Fen sweeps towards Aslan, Desmond is already in combat with him. Aslan reaches out and almost seems to grab hold of the strands of life within you. Even you, Fen. Even you, Nahara. Everyone please make a Constitution saving throw.
All right. Oh, this is not good.
Oh, I was incorrect. When I command allies as your reaction, Finn, you can
Oh yeah, you swing right then.
You can make a melee attack.
Oh,
But
okay.
I will do your a Constitution saving throw.
Yeah,
Yes,
well, hang on.
please.
I mean, the chances of her killing Aslan with this in a single blow are slim, but you never know. So go ahead and first let's make that attack.
All right, of course, I'm using the Sword of Cast.
His AC is still 29 because it is yet to be his turn.
But I do have that bonus D10 if I need to use it.
You used it to get out from under the bookshelf. Oh no, you didn't. You didn't. It was
Nope.
I did
20.
not.
Correct.
Nope.
You do. You do have it. Yes, you do.
But even with that, it's not going to be enough because that's only 17. So yeah, that's not going to be enough. So I'm not blowing my D10 right now.
Swing, clang.
Yes,
Now,
it's very much a Darth Vader lightsaber situation as this sword of Cass sweeps towards Aslan, and he stops it inches from him.
Mm-hmm. It is now, however. Oh, what was up with those con saves?
Yes, what is everyone's result? It is, again, DC 23.
A 14.
21, just short unless I use my D10.
18 for me.
Yeah, I failed.
Can we use the D10 on a save or just attack?
can't.
Oh, you know what?
We
Save.
can.
Oh, word? Then let me just.
Oh, heck
You
yeah.
only get the one D10, or
Oh,
do you have to use
just-
it now as well?
Just the one, because you did.
Just
use
one
yours.
time?
No,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Nahara has hers, Finn has hers. But yeah,
I
you can
used
use
it,
on
so
the
I
side.
was
I
29.
used mine.
Oh,
I
yeah,
used
right.
mine.
I'm using my legendary resistance to succeed.
Perfect.
Very well.
I'm gonna do the same. Thanks.
Very well. Then
I failed.
everyone has succeeded, or
Oh no, I failed.
then I am afraid you take 66 points of necrotic damage, though I believe you have resistance.
I am immune to necrotic damage.
Similarly to how this black death radiated outwards and Aslan was unfazed, so are you, Nahara.
But
Bam.
everyone else will take, those who made the save will take 33 points of necrotic damage.
Again, not accounting any mitigation. And now
And
it is
he
actually
turns to
your turn.
Nahara.
Mhm,
Oh,
yes,
he
sir.
turns to Nahara, of course, because she was unaffected. I can still be forgiving, my dear. Or need I make an example of you as I do this foolish old man?
You keep saying that, and yet I'm the one who took a chunk out of you.
Here are a few more chunks.
You
Oh,
say
Meteor
no.
swarm.
Meteor swarm. You all see from inside this place, it is like chunks of flaming rock manifest and become plummeting down on each of you. Everyone needs to give a dex save.
DC 23.
Against
As Aslan conjures this, he says aloud, "This library held much knowledge. Fortunate that I have spent the last few decades committing it all to memory. My curse no longer binds me, you see. All of it is right here. Now die."
some of the most destructive magic possible has been unleashed. Dex saves from everyone.
I did not make it.
Very well.
That's gonna be a 12, but yeah, I think I'm gonna pass this one.
Does
sorry.
the nat 20 give it to me, or should I?
A nat 20 will be enough.
Oh, good, because I was afraid of what was going to happen otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
23.
On the nose.
2 passes, 2 fails.
I'm
Very
gonna
well.
choose to not fail on that one.
Are you
Thanks.
gonna- Legendary?
Yep.
Oh. So 1 fail, 3 passes.
Very well. This shall be. I have to roll quite a number of dice.
This is a catastrophically high number of dice, actually.
Don't like.
Do not like this. Okay, Sephiroth, calm down.
Aslan.
This will be. All right, so that is 52 points of bludgeoning damage. And
And
you know something? Rather than rolling all those dice, why don't we just say 52 points of fire damage as well?
52 bludgeoning and 52 fire. For those of you that made the save, 26 and 26.
So still 52.
52. Well, pending mitigation, yes.
Mm.
I have a defense against bludgeoning.
Yeah, then would apply as appropriate. That's 112 damage to Nahara, 56 to the rest of you. Nahara, you still in the air?
I am still in the air.
Mm-hmm.
So, question: if I have a defense against bludgeoning, do I then have it again?
Defense against, but what is it? Resistance?
It just says I have defense against bludgeoning when I'm transformed.
This is your dread form?
Yep.
Under defenses, though, it should say an R or an I.
It does say an R.
Oh, so you're
That's
resistant.
resistant.
Yeah.
So half. So 13 bludgeoning, 26 fire for you.
So on his move, I do my last and I command allies, and I command Damon, and I command Finn, who are right there with weapons and claws, and you get advantage on a weapon attack. Both of you.
Your next weapon, you'd not automatically, right?
No, automatically. It can immediately use its reaction to make one weapon attack.
Perfect.
Before we move on,
yes.
The Bone Claw will continue to attack.
Yes. What would you like it to do?
Destroy him.
Unfortunately, its swing, where it was fairly competent last time, it swings horrifically badly this time. Probably because, you know what? Let's see if it made it out of the way of the meteor swarm. It didn't. So the Bone Claw took some in the face. It is still up, but it is busted in, and some of its bits aren't connecting, and I rolled a 2 and a 3. So
Incompetent fool. You are no more useful in undeath than you were in life. Such a disappointment.
But it misses horrifically.
I look at it, I just sort of watch the claws miss, and I say, well, you're a little off your game, old man.
Van Richten, I asked you a question here in Zoom if you saw my last thing there.
Yes.
And it is your turn.
So,
still get the attacks that we were supposed to roll for?
Yeah, you can roll right now.
They get them.
Yeah,
you know what? I want to watch them do those.
Mm-hmm.
So please attack.
Aslan's shield is down, but theoretically he can put it back up again. But currently it is not there.
So attack Finn and attack Damon.
Mm-hmm.
21 to hit.
Desmond.
Oh, hi.
Oh, Desmond.
Hi.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you attack with advantage.
Yeah,
oh my!
I've been watching too much House of Dragons.
My dice really love me. It's another net 20.
Woo!
Excellent.
+7.
You are definitely going to hit. Note that the Sword of Cast does an extra 2d10 against undead.
Oh, well, I didn't add that last time.
That'll be an extra 4d10.
Oh, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Do you do double dice or double damage on nat 20s?
Double dice.
Oh, I'm so glad I put all these dice on my desk today.
Aslan, were you going to put your shield up to stop Desmond's attack? Van is going to get through no matter what, unfortunately.
Yes. But what has Desmond's result been?
10 damage.
Oh, but no, how was the attack?
Oh, the attack was 21.
I have no need to raise the shield.
Oh, yeah, that is just not enough.
31 damage.
Yes. Vecna was definitely made of sterner stuff.
You, sword, you shall prove useful to me.
Now,
Oh, well, will it? Will it prove useful to you? Because I believe I brought a secret weapon.
Van Richten, when you say this, you all see he closes his eyes and begins to whisper a quiet prayer or incantation of some sort. And a figure begins to appear behind Aslan Rex. A figure that Nahara, you have seen before. He looks just like Uriah if he were but a teenager. And he reaches his hands out and grabs Aslan by the arms.
Hello,
No!
Father. I told you I would be here when you learned the folly of your ways.
Unhand me!
No.
Wretch!
We can never run away from the sins of our past. I know what it's like to take the life of a child. Feel the
Shimmering around Aslan seems to disappear as his globe of invulnerability drops. No! No!
Yes, Father. Do you beg for mercy? Do you cry out in pain as those you killed cried? Do you cry out like my mother cried out? And you see he's driving Aslan to his knees.
No! I am Aslan Rex! I am eternal!
Your time is up.
All of you can make the attack of your choice. Roll 3 times and take the highest.
Excellent.
As you see, even you, Van Richten, as you all see Eric Salhonen manifesting in glowing in golden energy that is biting and burning into his father. You hear him saying something in a language none of you understand, but Aslan, you know the tongue of Aerith. You know exactly what he's saying to you.
No. No. No!
How did you all come out?
Now it is I that
26.
has the nat 20.
But I've got the sword of cast. Ha
Black Dice Society, assemble! You all can add a D10 to your roll.
Yep.
And I'm casting wondrous war leader's helix on him again, and I rolled a 34.
Finn, recall that the Sword of Cast
Amazing.
crits on a 19 or a 20.
Oh yeah, that is what we have.
Heck yes, we love it.
Oh, and with that additional D10, that is like 30.
Is that a crit from did I hear that is a crit from the Sword of Cast?
You are correct.
Nahara, what are you attacking with with that 20?
Another one of my stars on my crown lights up and hurls towards him.
And Desmond, what are you attacking with?
Desmond's attacking with a bite.
Okay.
Nothing is fancy,
Mm-hmm.
but it works. Am I rolling for damage or no?
Yep. Oh yeah, Nahara.
Okay,
It's
cool.
34 to hit.
Because I had a 33 to hit
That is
after
20.
the additional D10.
That is more than enough between Van Richten and Xeric here, holding on to him. And Finn, give me that damage as well.
Oh, I didn't roll my damage. Did I get
Yep.
did I get the plus?
Yep, and it's 4d10 on a crit.
Oh
It's undead.
boy. That's right. Oh well,
So
that is
Aslan.
First
16 damage from Desmond.
16. Nahara, how
Yes.
much?
76 points of radiant damage.
I'll see holes being blown into him.
I do
Desmond's
64.
claws ripping, the life still sucking out of him. For the record, who were you healing with that positive energy at the same time?
Nahara.
You see the
Thank you, I
wounds
need it.
on Nahara closing up again. And Finn, how much? I know exactly how much he needs to finish him, so you have a shot at it. Let us see.
44 with 24 of that being radiant.
Finn, as you come towards him, Eric pulls Aslan's head back to face you. And he leans down into your ear, Aslan, and whispers,
Come, father, and she'll take you to see mother again.
Think not, boy. Aslan has one gambit left.
the sword through his neck, and blood pours down his chest. And you see
His head leaves his shoulders. The iron crown of Darkon tumbles to the stone floor of Castle Ravenloft and shatters. His desiccated flesh begins to dissolve. The centuries, millennia catching up. No. One gambit. And Aslan Rex is no more.
in here, standing over the ashes of your defeated opponent, once again brought low in these cursed walls, seems like an excellent place for us to stop. There is only one episode